We're back!
We're hornier than ever.
I know. We're really getting into the thick of the plot, but before we do that, we're gonna gab a little bit.
Gibbity gabs.
Little gabby wabbies.
A little Gabby Penton. You know, like the drug Gabby Penton. Okay, great.
What is that, a sedative?
That's I don't even know. It's a drug that...
You know.
I think it's an anti-anxiety medication of some kind.
Beta blocker?
Maybe. Yeah, it's a beta blocker.
I don't even a beta blocker. It's just someone who's like knocking
just
out
swatting away
men
betas.
or pussies.
It's really funny.
Can we be beta blockers for Halloween?
Oh, yeah, it's funny.
Anyway, we were talking earlier this week about, so I am in an intramural soccer league, which Nicole did not know. She called me on one of our mini daily phone calls, and I was like, I'm headed to soccer.
And I got really excited because I love when people have extracurricular activities. I don't know why.
I love extracurricular activities. I can't believe that it took me getting back into soccer. I think kickball helped.
And then, yeah.
But like, in high school, I was the person who you're like, how does she do all of those activities?
Were you an activity kid in high school?
Yeah, I think I was just, like, if I were to get psychological about it, I'm sure there was some sort of deep avoidance of home life. But I was in clubs, student government. I think I played like 8 sports. My senior year, I just tried out for everything.
Yeah.
And I made a couple teams because they're like, well, you suck, but we love your attitude, and we need the numbers.
Yeah. I mean, on attitude alone, you could be varsity in every sport.
I was a varsity.
Yeah,
I made the softball team, and there must have been people on JV who were so fucking mad about it. They're like, oh, the girl who can't hit the ball that has a positive attitude is on varsity, and I'm just riding it over here on JV.
Yeah, I mean, listen. So you got varsity freshman year?
I didn't try out till my senior year. And they could only, by the way, seniors could only play varsity or nothing.
Did you play sports because you liked sports, or did you play sports because you liked the camaraderie?
I played sports because I liked sports. Soccer was my main sport growing up. That was I think it's hard to be really deep into more than one sport, in my opinion, because they consume so much time. Mm-hmm. I also did enjoy
it's always
the
weird to me when I hear people be like, yeah, I was playing I was on 2 different travel teams. I'm like, how? Where did you get the time for that?
I barely can make it to my weekly intramural game that's not even every week. And by the way, I am unnecessarily devastated when I'm on the road. I'm like, I can't make it, everyone. And they might be bummed too, but it's more about the numbers. I'm not the glue that holds the team together.
Can we talk for a second about intramural? Can we call it that? Is
it intramural? I guess it's rec league. I just am using the word.
Yeah.
Intramural is what? In school, but not the school team. Hold on.
Hey Siri, what's the definition of intramural? Here we go. Situated or done within the walls of a building, taking place within a single educational institution, forming part of normal university or college. So it is something. Is it all
of those things, or
it is?
Any of those
are.
Does it have to meet all those criteria, or those are different definitions?
It has to be within an institution.
So this is an intramural podcast.
Yes,
because we are filming from inside a psychiatric ward.
Time for your pills.
Get the hose.
What? Sounds kinky.
Yeah, I just, you know what? I do love the camaraderie. I think that's a big part of it. I don't think I don't think in the past when I was in high school I went into it going, I'd like to have more camaraderie. But when I started the kickball team, which Nicole has played on in the past, I keep going.
By the way,
it changes.
I didn't.
She was in the group chat.
I hate group chats. But I did play. But I have had a neck issue for the past year straight. And every time I played, at some point my neck would start hurting more. And I'm like, why am I doing this? It's so not enjoyable. But there were so many instances when I would throw the ball and I would throw it with all that I had. And then my whole neck would just go out. Oh. And I'm like, I can't do this.
I know. I was so bummed because I loved having you there. It was so fun.
It was really fun, but literally every time I did it.
You were literally cracking up.
I
Your neck was just falling apart.
By the way, I got approved for. I told you. I got approved to get this major injection in my neck. They have to put me under for it.
Yeah, it's breast implants.
Nothing takes the weight off the neck, like just a big sack of meat in the front.
Do you think if I had some huge tits that would balance out the pressure on my neck and maybe could I get my insurance to approve this?
I really do you think does insurance cover breast reductions?
I think it does if you can prove that it is causing an issue with your back. I had a sorority sister who, I don't know what she said. It was like the way that her breasts sat under her breastbone or something. She got her insurance to cover breast implants.
What?
Yeah. I should call her.
Here's the thing. If you're telling me that insurance will cover a breast reduction because it causes back pain, do you have any idea the mental anguish I have endured over the course of my life because I haven't had big fat jugs?
I mean, that's every woman. Do you know how much easier everything we've ever done would be, except maybe getting out of bed? Why do we need to get out of bed? Just bring me my feeds. My food, and my Instagram feed. Come to me, my children. And by my children, I mean piles of money.
I mean, that's all I've wanted. It's all I've ever really... I've talked about boobs my entire life.
Dude, I love boobs. I wish... I'd be a different person if I had big titties.
Yeah,
I think everyone would.
Neither one of us would be here.
Yeah. You know, because
we'd be like married and happy.
Yeah, I wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, nothing.
I would have never had the drive to even become a workaholic because I wouldn't understand what the point was.
Neither one of us would have a personality. Are you kidding?
No. And
why would you have a point when you have knockers?
No one's listening anyways, as you have pointed out in your
it's my favorite joke.
Incredible bit. And we've all observed from the sidelines when a big-breasted woman talks to us.
Yeah. I mean... If you talk to a woman with large breasts, I really don't care if you're gay or straight. If at some point you're not looking at her tits, that is crazy to me.
Honestly, that's disrespectful.
There is a female comedian, I'm not going to say her name, but she is blonde with very big boobs.
Ah, yes, Jugosaurus. I don't know what she's talking about, but...
Jugosaurus Rex. She's also anorexic.
Jugosaurus Rex. Oh, she's also anorexic? Good. She's living my dream?
She's just a giant letter P. But she has these huge boobs. And I saw her the other night at a comedy club. And she came up, and I was standing with two male comedians. I don't want to say names on the off chance that anyone listens to this at all.
I'm sure she'd be really upset to know that people know she has giant tits and is skinny. But...
I was talking with two male comedians, and she just comes up like, "Hey guys, how's it going? Do you know what the lineup is? Like, do you know when I'm going to be going up?" And we're just like,
what?
So
I know when they're going up.
Soon. And then she walks away, and I turn to one of the other comics. I was like, let's just call him John. I was like, John. Was that just like insane, her boobs just now? And he's like, oh my God, thank you for saying something. He's like, I've never tried harder not to look at boobs
felt like such a
in
pig.
my life. He's like, it was unreal. He's like, they just came up like flippity flops.
He's like, I don't even know who that was. I didn't see her face.
Oh my God.
Imagine having such big tits that you get a reduction and no one remembers you. You're like, no, it's me, Amber. Yourself. And you're like, have we met? And it's like your best friend.
She got wiped off the map faster than a city in North Carolina.
Oh, no. And also by the time this is airing, probably
Florida's going to get wiped off the map. Yeah. It is so crazy. Did you see the weatherman start crying when he was... This was unreal.
A weatherman started crying. By the way, in the event that this comes off insensitive, we are praying and sending our love and
oh my God,
have been sharing and
we've been sharing on Instagram. We care. One of my good friends is in Asheville, Mike Foss. Her husband is a
won't
ER
name
doctor.
The big-titted woman. Let's name the woman underwater.
No, we'll name the woman who's she's good now, but her husband is an ER doctor in North Carolina, so shout out to him and everyone else who's, man, nobody pulls harder for other humans than people in the South. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, people give a shit about their neighbors. If that happened in LA, it would be every man for himself. People would be shoving people underwater. Oh, has it already happened?
Yeah, it's already happened.
Yeah.
But people in the South, man, there was a line. They showed a line of traffic, people driving into Asheville to donate time, help, whatever was necessary with supplies.
And then I'd be the one trying to donate supplies, and people are like, we don't need that.
Yeah, they'd be like, yeah, you can just
keep your weird hat.
You're like, but somebody's gonna need to do a character reel. But yeah. So what were we saying about boobs? Yeah.
Oh fuck. Oh, the weatherman.
Oh, there's a
crying.
weatherman. There was a weatherman who was reporting how this is like he was reporting like the statistics on the size of the storm, and he's
the
like,
one that's coming or
the one that's coming right now, and he's like, I've never seen. He like started crying. He's like, this is like the worst thing I've ever seen. He's like, I'm literally saying these numbers, and he's like, and I can't even believe it.
The weatherman started crying.
The weatherman started crying.
Yeah, and meanwhile, my brother's like, people are being irrational.
This man's like, I have been reporting on storms for my entire career. He's been a weatherman in Florida his entire career. He's like, there has never been anything like this.
Yeah.
Like, there's a certain number that determines the size of... The category, but not just the category, but how quickly it's getting into the next category.
Yeah, because it went down and now it's going back up. And apologies, because by the time this comes out, whatever's going to happen will probably have happened.
When is it supposed to make landfall?
It's supposed to start hitting on... We're recording this on Tuesday, October 8th. Wednesday. This will come out on Friday.
So... God, I mean, I hope, like, what they're saying, this is now tied for the, I love how they're like, there's a
ranking.
They are
people
tied,
are like, Irma.
They're literally tied for, it's tied for the top 3 strongest storms, and that hasn't even hit landfall yet.
In history ever, or just to hit
ever,
in the Gulf?
Ever.
Or?
I think in the Gulf, yeah.
And it's also Milton. Imagine being taken out by a Milton.
Oh.
I just hope everyone who was supposed to evacuate evacuated. I have family members who are not evacuating. And by the time this comes out, who knows how I'll be feeling or if I will have heard from them. But yeah, just a weatherman cried. Well, the mayor of Tampa was on air on the news, said, if you are in an evacuation zone and you don't leave, you will die.
Yeah, that's...
You will die. Not like
that's what
you are
every
at high
expert's saying. Yeah.
It's fucking...
Evacuate. Like, people, come on.
But then the other thing I'm
thinking... Not like we're saying anything now that's going to matter, but like, God, I just like...
Yeah, it's like...
I realize that you've lived through a lot of hurricanes.
Well, and people, that's the thing. Or they think, in Tampa, a lot of people think, it never comes here, it always turns. Yeah. Which, I'll tell you what, they shut down USF in 2005 because of Katrina, and it did turn. And that was a catastrophe elsewhere.
Yeah.
Anyway...
I hope everybody's okay. As okay as they can be. Because no matter what, even if the storm turns, it's still going to be bad.
Someone's going to get slammed.
Yeah.
Fuck. Anyway.
Let's get to the
book.
All right. We're getting into it. Chapter 30.
So, Feyre's come back home.
Chapter kicks off. Feyre is heading into the village. And she's going to all the poor areas.
Oh, she's got her little satchels of money, handing out money to the poor, knocking on the...
Alms for the poor.
I mean, good person. I guess, why not?
I like this. I wish they could have harped on it a little more. Really, like, I wanted to see some people groveling at her feet for it, being like, thank you, madam! But no, she just handed it out.
I know. It's also, like, you didn't wait a little while. You don't have any poverty instinct of, like, let's make sure that I'm gonna have enough. I don't know. I know that this is a fake story, but, like...
she's got fairy money.
I know.
Like, this isn't new money. This isn't old money. This is
money that will never go away.
Yeah. It's magical money. Like, this is Monopoly money, and
people will take it.
Yeah. You're pass and go, and you're collecting $200. But then the best thing happens. She runs into Isaac Hale.
Her old flame.
Her old lover.
The guy she used to fuck in a haystack or whatever.
Oh, a little haystack fucking. Like a needle or an Isaac in a haystack.
An Isaac in a haystack.
So she runs into Isaac, and he is with his wife. How long has she been gone?
That's what I don't understand. It can't be that long. Is this just... I guess it's just...
Let's say she was gone. I guess in human land, you move quickly. I mean, what are your other options?
Yeah, I wanted to be like the old... Like, it's one of those things where I don't understand when this is supposed to take...
No. I have no idea.
Take place time-wise, or if time is completely different in this book because it's a fantasy book. Yeah, because it does seem like...
She was gone... To me, it seems like she's been gone for like maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks tops.
Yeah, and he's been just porking her that whole time, and now he's like, aha, my wife, who I love very much. He's enamored, in love with this woman.
So in love with his new wife. Farrah sees him, and she's like, oh, wow. And there's Isaac Hale with his new wife.
His plump new wife.
His plump new wife. I was like, you just called that bitch fat.
Yeah, honestly, fat would have been just less hurtful than plump. And he goes, oh, they're so happy, and I genuinely...
Yeah, she's like, I smiled at them, and I wish them well and love from, like, a real love from the depths of my heart. And meant it. It's like...
But she didn't mean it enough not to go, like, have fun with Fatty. Like,
yeah, just the old prize heifer here. You know what? It's good for him. He's got a lot to love him.
Yeah, it's something to keep him warm at night.
Something to keep him warm. Like, I couldn't keep him warm. I was a frail... what did she describe herself? My muscle and bones.
Yeah, she was made of muscle and bone. Now she's like, well, this lady probably can cook, so that's good.
Yeah. I was the huntress and she's the cooker. And he can, when she's not able to feed him, he can just dine on her flesh.
I was the butcher, she was the baker. It's just so funny to be like, I was so happy for, it's so every woman to be like, oh, good for him, and then notice one thing about a little hefty, a little thick. Oh, she was so lovely, a little chunky.
Oh, and also I love when she goes, oh, he was so human.
Yeah. Oh,
she's fucking a fairy for 1 week, and all of a sudden every man is just, oh my goodness.
Yeah, like she's not still human.
Yeah, she thinks she's just so much better now that she's getting dick bound by Tamlin.
Bless his heart. Bless his little human heart. His little human...
Gangly. Is that what you refer to him as? Gangly?
Yeah.
He's very thin, and now he's banging a big girl. I remember there was this joke when I was a kid. It was, how do you fuck a fat girl?
Oh, God.
Roll her in dough and go for the wet spot.
Oh, no! What? I've never heard that somehow.
Dude, I remember being like, oh my God, that's so gross because of her pussy, because her pussy's wet. Oh my God. Yeah. But I was always like, now that I'm hearing dough? I'm like, dough, you mean flour?
Yeah. Well, why don't you just go for the wet spot?
Well, I mean, it's wet. You'll find it.
Can you not? Is that the joke?
I mean, I don't know.
Roll her in dough.
And bake her? I mean, that's
what
I would
in a blanket? Oh. Whatever. Thick is in.
Anywho.
Also, in human world, I assume that means this woman is doing pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, if you're able to be a chubby, he's a chubby chaser. He's got a chubby for the chubbies.
They can't get away. He wants someone that will never leave him.
She can't go anywhere. Oh no, what did I say the other day? I go, oh, she's always giving him bedroom eyes. No, she doesn't have bedroom eyes. She's slipping into a diabetic coma.
She's just his type 2.
All right, we gotta go.
But anyway,
enough of this.
Feyre goes home, and there's like people running around because they're throwing a ball.
The ball's happening.
As you do when your daughter returns and you're unnaturally wealthy. And
then Elaine is like, come with me in the garden. So she gardens with Elaine. Who cares? Meanwhile, she's so worried about the blight that she can't even bring herself to paint.
I mean, this is where it's like, I can't even lift my paints. This is such...
But there's also like, what are you gonna do, bitch?
Yeah.
Everyone's scared who are fairies.
Yeah, the magical people can't do anything. You're fucked. And just get your canvas and shut the fuck up.
Just paint. And then...
This is huge.
Massive. Nesta, BT dubs, the glamour didn't work on her.
That's what we find out.
She had a little chunk of the cottage that she just tosses at Feyre, being like, I remember everything.
Yeah, it was like clawed up. So she was like, every time that her father and Elaine would talk about some other fucking story that happened, how Feyre had just gone off, she had that with the claws to remind her that she wasn't fucking crazy, that this really happened.
And then the cool thing is Nesta was like, I went looking for you. And she's like, you what? She's like, yeah, I went all the way to the wall looking for you.
Yeah, that she couldn't find a way through. And the reason that she didn't marry Thomas Mandrake isn't because he
Was
is
the
from a family
worst.
that beats women, he wouldn't help her.
Well, would he not help her? I thought it was that just she's like he was the kind of person who wouldn't have gone.
He realized she wouldn't. Yeah, he didn't like outwardly. Did she ask him?
I don't think she asked him. I think she just realized like, oh, he's a pussy ass bitch.
Yeah, but she did get the what's her name? The mercenary.
Oh yeah. Oh, finally,
Which I forgot.
I forgot about the mercenary. The mercenary comes back. The mercenary went with her. Because she was like, if there's any kind of person who was going to do this, it was going to be the mercenary. And the mercenary also gave her like top dollar for the cloaks, for the fur.
The fur. So she's like, this is the person I'm going to go to. But also, the mercenary couldn't even go through the wall.
No.
Fucking shame.
Useless mercenary.
Yeah.
Why even call herself a mercenary? Why don't you just call her a fucking person?
Yeah. She's just a lady with scars.
And then Feyre's like, oh my god, my sister cares for me after all.
It's like, I think for some people this is a redemptive moment for Nesta. And it's like, oh, she does care. Or was she just like, you're fucking lying, bitch? Like, was she so dead set on being like, something is wrong? Was it like, did you care? Or were you just trying to
I
get
think
to the
she
bottom
just
of
wanted to
things?
see that she wasn't crazy, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't think she really cared all that much. Based on everything we know about Feyre
Nesta
so far.
I hate this archetype of like, no, they care. They got a hard shell. Shut the
You know what I
fuck
hate?
up.
When people are like, if you're like, this person's a bitch, and people are like, yeah, no, you just gotta like get to know her. And it's like, no, I don't.
No, I'm so
I
sick
absolutely
of
don't.
that.
Life is short. Life is short. I'm not gonna sit there and try to get to the center of the fucking lollipop to find out if there's a cool person in there or not. Just be fucking cool. I don't have time to unearth the good person.
Yeah,
deep
I'm not
down.
gonna unwrap your hardened shell.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And by the way, in the instances in my past I have done that, they don't get better.
No, they don't.
No.
They're just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah, you go, no, this person is rotten at their core.
Yeah, because before that you were giving them a little bit of the benefit of the doubt, and now that's gone. Now you're just like, oh, you're a rotten, stinky bitch.
You're a fucking cunt.
You're way worse than I thought you would be.
Fuck you, Nesta.
Anywho, so Nesta, we still hate her. I mean, I do have a lot of respect for her in some regards.
I mean, that is ballsy. But also, you wouldn't go out and chop fucking wood, but now out of spite, you're going all the way through the forest? Fuck you. You could have helped.
That's why I think she did it, because she wanted to make sure she wasn't crazy.
Yeah, also the drive to like, I don't want to have to care for this family. I have to get her back.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I know she's
I'm
out
not going
there.
to chop wood, but I'm going to find that bitch who's evading her duty.
Yeah, I won't care for myself, but I will spend the rest of my life scouring the earth to
I'm
find...
going to make sure she's not just trying to get out of her wood chopping,
hunting duties. Even though they had money.
This is the best part. There are a lot of good parts, but I love that Nesta's like, I demand you teach me how to paint.
Yeah, she's like, teach me how to... Like, so unfun about the whole thing. Nesta wants to know what really fucking happened, which Feyre does tell her, and then to be like, I'd like to learn how to paint. It's like, it's not gonna make you happy. Nothing will.
And she says at the end, she's like, yeah, I hate our dad. Because she realizes how much Feyre loves Tamlin. And she's like, yeah, you do a lot for the people you love. Unlike our father, who just let our mother die instead of
let us starve to death.
Let us starve instead of sailing around the world trying to find a cure to save their mother.
Yeah, also, grow up. You're in your 20s.
Wow.
Instead of sailing the globe looking for... and leaving you there with a dying woman? I get it. Grief hurts. But also, he could have done a better job. Sure.
Yeah, I mean...
Focus on him letting you starve, but going to the ends of the earth for a cure for... I don't understand if in this world there is a cure for it, and it was just slightly out of their reach.
Was that the thing at the time? There was a sail and go get a cure? Like, was that within the realm of possibility? I don't know.
I don't know. You would think that if it was, they would have sailed the cure back and be making money off of it like a good pharmaceutical company.
You know what I would have loved? I would have loved for Tamlin to have brought the mom back to life if he could have done that.
Dude, that'd be wild. Yeah, I don't understand how...
Is that something that happens eventually?
How
No?
rising from the dead... I mean... I don't know how far you are into...
Okay, never mind.
I'm not saying... Then nothing I said is a spoiler about the mom, but...
Oh, are you talking about... Hold on.
Oh, I was just... Did you just try to say it? And Well, spoiler. There does become alluding at some point to the ability of questioning whether or not people can be rose from the dead. I think that does come up. Unless I'm mixing books, because I've been reading a lot. But that's the end of chapter 30, right?
Uh-huh. No, chapter 31, there's the ball.
Yeah, Feyre is...
Feyre's doing her daughterly duty.
She's put on a smile for Elaine because Elaine put in all the work.
But she can't shake the feeling that she should be back in Prythian, being of service.
You can't help.
This is so insane to me. There's nothing more delusional than her thinking she can help.
It's so insane. If this is a stage of grief, this is bargaining.
Yeah, totally.
Ironically, bargaining, which, come to find out very soon, is a very risky thing to do. But literally going, if only I had this, if only I had done that, is like...
Yeah,
you would have died first.
You would have, and whatever, we'll get to it, but knowing what we know. At the next day, this was wild. So in the previous chapter, it was alluded to because she saw Thomas Mandrake in town.
Yeah.
Or was it the chapter before that?
Last chapter is when she saw... Oh, she saw Thomas
2 chapters
Mandrake?
ago, she saw Thomas Mandrake in town. There were a bunch of guys just standing
hooligans.
around. Yeah, the hooligans were standing around talking about a house that had burnt down.
It burned down, that's right.
And then now in chapter 31, we found out that the house that burnt down was the Better family, i.e. Claire Better. So the name that she gave to Rhysand was ultimately given to Amarantha, and then Amarantha sent Rhysand to go get the girl and burnt the house down, and then Claire Better was not to be found.
Yeah, like they never recovered her body. At this point, Feyre tells her family, like, listen, this is what's up. We got to hire guards. We have to have people looking out. And at the first sign of anything, you guys have to promise me you're going to get the fuck out of here.
And Nesta, because the glamour was already off of her, Feyre starts speaking to her directly, and this is in front of Elaine and the father. And they're like, the father's like, what's going on?
Yeah, Elaine's glamour for some reason magically breaks.
Yeah, but
their dad's still like, my daughters are so kooky. They're just making up stories.
Just still Delulu.
Look at them telling their tales, weaving their ways.
Oh, my girls. They gotta have that money to take care of them, because when we didn't have money, I was useless.
Yeah. And now they're schizophrenic and inventing fairy tales, literally.
They're talking about fairies. Can you believe it? So Feyre warns her about the blight.
She tells Nesta, like, this is what's up. Because she knows she can count on Nesta to, like, fucking actually get the shit moving if it needs to be moved.
And Nesta's like, listen, don't come back.
Also, the amount that her family just will go, okay, remember before when we said never come back?
Yeah.
Do that.
By the way, I love how she's like completely confident. She's like, we got this. You don't need to come back. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, no one wants you around, Feyre.
Yeah, literally. Nesta was like, you're taking attention from me.
Yeah.
Can you get out of here? And she does. She fucking gets on a horse and heads back to Prythian.
And then when she gets to the manor, nobody's there. It's dead
silent. It's fucking
and the place has been trashed like a frat party.
Yeah, and that's when we go into chapter 32, where she's basically walking around an abandoned, destroyed manor.
A destroyed manor, and then she finds Alice.
Yeah.
And Alice is pretty tattered, but she's okay.
Yeah, she's clearly been like kind of hiding, and then
Alice does her Alice thing where she's like, Tamlin told you to stay away.
Get out! You shouldn't have come here. I don't know why I made her sound like that.
I like that interpretation of it.
Yeah.
And Feyre's like, what happened to Tamlin? Tell me everything.
Me.
You have to tell me everything. And then she finally gets a whole lot of information.
Yeah, the blight is Amarantha.
The blight is Amarantha. It was an analogy. And she is the High Queen of Prythian. Amarantha is.
He called it a blight. This was all just curses from Amarantha.
Okay, so Amarantha was once an emissary for Hybern, as well as a deadly general in the war against humans. By the way, whenever they say war against humans, I always think of that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Terminator, thank you. Predator. He was in that too. Terminator.
He?
Mm-hmm. Predator? I'm pretty sure he was in Predator. With
I wouldn't know, honestly.
He was in it with, what's the other guy's name?
We here at the Pop Culture Expert Podcast, I don't know, but it is funny that we've managed to make, in multiple episodes, managed to equate things to Arnold Schwarzenegger movies.
He's just the best.
He always comes back.
Anyway, so she was in the war against. So here's what happened. So Amaranth had this younger sister, Clythea, and she fell in love with a human named Jurian. And Jurian betrayed and murdered Clythea, fueling Amaranth's hatred
Clythea
of
or Clythea?
Clythea.
I don't remember.
I don't know. I was just reading it this time. I don't remember.
Me too. I don't either.
I don't remember.
Clythea?
Clythea? Clythea? Whatever.
You guys shred us in the comments.
It's such a
funny. I don't remember.
It's so
now.
different when you read it. Because I stopped because I usually do. Did I talk about this yet? How I do the book on tape and read at the same time?
Yeah, because you like reading along.
Yeah, and this time I was
you
just
want
like,
someone to read you a story, but also
Yeah.
don't want to relinquish control of
Yeah.
knowing the story, so you're reading the book too.
Yeah. So this time I didn't do that. Anyway,
Wow.
so
Sorry, her younger sister fell in love with a human warrior named Jurian.
Jurian, and then Jurian was actually tricking her.
Yeah, to get information.
And
he
then
murdered her.
he murdered her. And then that fueled Amaranth's hatred of humans. And Amarantha wanted to rule Prythian, so she snuck in forces and poisoned the High Lords to steal their magic.
That's fucking diabolical.
She is
Look
diabolical.
at women.
I mean, what can't they do? Who can't they kill?
Get along.
And so Amarantha wanted Tamlin as her lover because he is a
Obviously. Look at him.
POA.
Who wouldn't? Who doesn't want to suck on that?
Suck on that.
HPOA, hot piece of...
hot piece of ass.
Yeah. He's a hot piece of ass.
He's a
Hot piece of fairy ass.
Fast. Anywho, so he won't because he's like, damn bitch, you ugly.
Damn, that's fucking wild.
So in retribution, Amarantha curses Tamlin.
Which, listen, I don't like Amarantha. She's an evil woman. But are there men I wish I could curse from my past?
Absolutely.
Sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd like
One
to
or
see
two.
a couple people suffer.
Little, just a touch of the suffering.
Just a minor setback.
I just want to see you have more bad days than good.
Yeah. Does that do much to ask?
Just a little crying.
Misery.
I just want you crying in the middle of the day like you just got your period for no reason at all.
I wish
I
men
want
could get
you
their period.
weeping. By the way, I think we should do this whole podcast with Southern accents.
I bet it would blow up.
let's
You
keep-
ain't even gonna believe what
You are
happens
not, but
next.
bless her heart. You're gonna.
We had a technical difficulty, and we could have smoothly executed this so that in the audio you couldn't tell. But I honestly think, because listen, in the version that didn't stick, we kept doing that Southern accent, and I think that the universe was like, we can't have you destroy your own podcast from within. So we left off with Amarantha has cursed him, and we were talking about how that, she sucks, but it would be nice to curse
Basically,
somebody.
the curse the curse that she put on Tamlin, she was like, the only way out of this curse is if you a human falls in love with you, but a human who has hate in her heart for a fairy, kills a fairy, but then falls in love with you.
Yeah, so she has to, A, kill a fairy, hate fairies, and then fall in love with you. Oddly specific.
But when Alice was recounting this to Farah, there's something she says that I think is so funny. When she first cursed him, Tamlin sent one of his men across the wall every day to the woods, to farms, all disguised as wolves, to make it more likely for one of your kind to want to kill them. If they came back, it was with stories of human girls who ran and screamed and begged, who didn't even lift a hand. When they didn't come back, Tamlin's bond with them, as their lord and master told them that they'd been killed by others. Human hunters, older women perhaps.
So yeah. By the way, that's nowhere in, from what we have gathered, nowhere in the curse or the clause.
Was she like, you need a young woman to fall in love with you?
Supple woman to fall in love with you. Tamlin is just like, I'd rather risk my entire court than go anywhere near a woman over. And by the way, what's old here? This is
Oh, this is olden days at this point. So old must be like 32.
Yeah, I mean, if Isaac Hayes is getting married to someone within a month.
Yeah.
Isaac Hayes is not his name,
Isaac
is it?
Hale. Yeah, it's Isaac Hayes.
Isaac
I was just
Hayes.
going to let it go because I was just like, we're on a roll.
I
Feels
want to
good.
lay it down by the... That's Isaac Hayes, right? He's like a
Maybe.
old,
I don't know.
dead... He was Chef's voice in South Park. Anyway, yeah, he's like, ew, what, a woman in her 30s? Disgusting.
Gross. I'd rather die from the blight.
He'll just let his men keep dying. It's like that he's like, we couldn't find anyone that I thought was hot enough for me.
He's like, my favorite men, all my guys. I'm killing all of my guys because... Ew, an older woman? Gross.
I also wonder when they say, like, a hunter, older women perhaps, like, if maybe the mercenary killed one of his men.
Maybe it was the mercenary.
We
I don't know,
may never
but also, by the way, I love that because of his bond, he knew who killed them. So he was like, oh, my bond's telling me that one of my guys is dead. It was an older woman. Never mind. Just let him go. But when
he
Feyre
just doesn't even
killed
get
him,
up from eating. He's like, gotta get there. Hottie.
He's like, Feyre, is this girl, hold on, let me check through the bond. Is she fuckable?
Ooh, barely legal.
Ooh, yeah, she's on the cusp.
Oh, I remember
She
when I was
hungry?
19.
Oh, I'll give her something to eat.
Yeah, I got something for you to munch on. I remember when I was 19, 800 years ago. How disgusting. Like, in real life, if people have more than a 15-year age gap, depending on, like, if they're older,
There was a meme about this where it's just, like, all of a sudden, when it comes to, like, fairies and vampires, girls are like, 500 years old? Call him daddy. Let's go.
Ew, I'm thinking of, like, a 68-year-old man's ass. Like, what do you...
Well, luckily, they ain't aging like that.
They don't age like us, thank God.
Okay, so, she also made the curse harder to break by, you can't say a word about the curse.
Yeah, they're, like, unable to, which we see a little bit later, either in this chapter or the next, because Alice, like, tries to say it and it doesn't come out.
And then...
and put the masks on them, as if, like, I'm sorry. We have to make Tamlin less fuckable. Put an ornate mask on.
Yeah.
Why don't you just put a cherry on top of a fucking ice cream sundae? You think I give a think anyone's even looking at his...
Yeah, you've got cum gutters, okay?
Yeah.
No one's like, whoa. What does the side of his eye look like?
Yeah, no one's seeing that bicep and being like, but what if he has a schnoz?
Oh no, what if he's got bags under his eyes?
They're designer bags.
No.
He's a prince.
Oh, it will be too much.
I mean, that was a weird move, but I guess...
Yeah, I guess she's like, we've got to figure out how to make it harder somehow, because I couldn't get him hard.
Yeah, I find him irresistible. Also, I mean, what a level of spite to just, like, you want to fuck someone's... It's also, what's her deal with masks, that she thought that would be a big deal? She's like, well, now I can't see your beautiful cheekbones.
Oh, wait, there was something that we also learned about Tamlin, Lucian. She cut Lucian's eyeball out.
Yeah.
But they said why? Or did that happen later?
I thought we learned about that a couple episodes ago.
No.
Oh, but I know she does. Oh, yeah, that's right. She does seem to have, like, a thing with eyeballs. Which we find out pretty quickly.
Lucian said something sassy to her and she cut his eyeball out. Anyway, and then Alice goes off on Feyre. She's like, you could have gotten us out of all of this if you had just said that you loved him.
All you had to do, you didn't even have to tell the truth. No one would have known.
Amazing.
I mean, she didn't say that part, but it's just like, yeah, also, I'm sorry, I didn't know this.
Also, he sent her away 3 days before the curse was up.
Yeah, he
should have let her stay there and just said, I love you a few more times, suggesting, and maybe she would have said it back.
Yeah, I think he was avoidant. I think he was afraid that she didn't love him.
Oh, no.
And he didn't want to risk...
Are you diagnosing him as avoidant?
Again, every episode? Yeah, well, it's also, like, the fact that the first time he says it, she's, like, curled up in his arms and possibly asleep, and he's like, I love you. And she's like, I kind of said it as he was drifting off. But that's like a fucking cop-out.
Yeah.
And then, as she's primed to leave, he goes, I love you, Feyre.
And she's like, well, now I'm under the stress of travel.
Yeah. Do you know what this does to my bowels? Not on travel day.
I had to wake up early. You know I have like a 16-mile horse carriage right ahead of me.
If she's anything like me going to the airport, it's like, don't tell me anything.
Yeah, I can't remember a goddamn thing before a flight.
Yeah, I'm just no matter how smooth it goes, it's constant peril. So this episode and this chapter ends with her going, I'm gonna go under the mountain. I'm going to Amarantha's court. Take me there, Alice. We're going. So we're obviously now we're heading into hopefully adventure territory. Obviously.
Yep.
So
okay, goodbye.